Tiger stayed down. They say he's onside. He's sharp now for Manchester United. And that has settled it.
Arcs. Armour did well there. Cole gets his first touch on for Williams to chase. And he's got in between Moncau and the goalkeeper. Oh, what a marvellous goal that was! Sheffield Wednesday and Ron Atkinson are back at Wembley.
Wembley Stadium awaits Manchester United and Sheffield Wednesday, finalists in the first ever Rumbelows League Cup. Last year, Alex Ferguson's team won the FA Cup at Wembley, United's first triumph since the days when Ron Atkinson was their manager. Two men who've made it down the road to Wembley before, a road that's paved with goals.
Hughes. He'll try his luck. It's in! 2 goals in a minute!
From its early rounds in the autumn, this season's League Cup was headline news. Manchester United's reward for inflicting Liverpool's first defeat of the season in round 3 was a trip to unbeaten Arsenal in round 4 on the night a star was born.
Sharp pinching it back from Dixon. It's a beauty! It's raining goals at Highbury!
But all along, the message to United from Sheffield Wednesday has been anything you can do, we can do better.
It's a good effort. Oh, what a tremendous goal by John Hart!
The 1991 finalists have shown us their credentials in spectacular fashion, each producing leading characters along the way to the final drama. Player of the Year, Mark Hughes, was the player of the quarter-finals.
And Hughes has got a real chance for a hat-trick here. He's got past the goalkeeper, and he's got his hat-trick.
Southampton, the victims of Hughes and United. Coventry City, the victims of Wednesday and Nigel Pearson.
Pearson and Shirtliff, the two centre-backs, are both forward for the kick. Laid into the far post and cut back neatly as well. And the turn, and it's got in!
Just one more fence to jump. Sheffield Wednesday through to a semi-final with Chelsea. Manchester United through to a semi-final with Leeds United. Are both set to clear their final obstacle in some style.
Sharp chasing this one. Sterling getting the header. Sharp. It's there for Manchester United. The mistake by Mel Sterling was punished so effectively by the young number 11.
Shirtliff pumps the ball forward. It's in towards Palmer. Palmer did well. Wilson! Oh, what a goal! Danny Wilson!
Sheffield Wednesday and Manchester United, the latest in a 30-year line of League Cup finalists. This is the story of the football occasion that became known as the People's Final. The competition was the brainchild of Alan Hardacre, for 20 years the brains behind the Football League. His idea was to break the Football Association's 90-year hold over knockout competition, a fresh challenge for his member clubs, a new source of entertainment for fans. The League Cup final would become the People's Final. The first of his people to contest it were Rotherham United and Aston Villa in 1961. But 5 of the country's principal league clubs turned down invitations to take part in the inaugural tournament, and there were further notable abstentions before the competition found its feet. Indeed, that very first final could only be accommodated at the start of the following season. It was a two-legged affair, won for Aston Villa by Peter McParland.
A number of the top teams didn't play in it, and it was something new on this. I think it helped then. We didn't play much midweek football other than replays of the Cup, FA Cup, but it meant then that we had an extra tournament to play in, and it meant you didn't train so much.
McParland, an Irish international, had been the central figure in an FA Cup final, scoring twice and flattening Manchester United keeper Ray Wood at Wembley in 1957. 4 years later, he helped Aston Villa overcome a 2-goal first-leg deficit to beat Rotherham in extra time.
I got the winner, I'm pleased to say. And if you haven't got it on tape, I can tell you that I beat 6 men and backheeled it into the net. But no, it was a ball that dropped in the 6-yard box and I hammered it into the back of the net.
The following year, Norwich City at Division 2 hammered Rochdale, the only 4th Division side ever to reach a League Cup final. Barely 30,000 fans watched the 2 matches. No fewer than 10 clubs had given the competition a miss. But it was a hit in East Anglia, all right, as the Canaries took off with 3 first-leg goals and 1 at home in the second. Birmingham City's one and only success in the competition was gained with a 3-1 victory over neighbours Aston Villa in 1963. 2 goals from Welsh international Ken Leake at St Andrews enabled the Brummie Blues to ease through a goalless return at Villa Park, en route to the only major trophy in their history. Leicester City were finalists in each of the next 2 seasons, Gordon Banks keeping out his future club, Stoke, in '64, then losing out to Chelsea, for whom Terry Venables scored a cup final penalty in '65. Bobby Moore and Martin Peters were amongst the West Ham goal scorers in the year they immortalised with England, 1966. But having lost 2-1 at Upton Park, West Bromwich Albion cut loose in the return at the Hawthorns to become the one and only League Cup winners to turn round a first-leg deficit. This was the last of the home and away finals. Albion won it with goals from John Kay, Tony Brown, Graham Williams and Clive Clark. As fate would have it, Clark was to score 2 more for West Brom in the following year's final, but by then the League Cup had undergone a facelift. Wembley Stadium was the setting for the 1967 final. West Brom were hot favourites to retain the trophy against Queen's Park Rangers of Division 3. But under manager Alex Stock, they were heading for Division 1. The 3rd Division title race was over long before the end of the season. Such was the pace that QPR set. But for much of that historic afternoon at Wembley, it was they who were trying to catch up with West Brom.
This is good football. Against his own team. Rangers come out to try and play somebody offside. And they fail and they're wrong with the count. Got Clark with him and Clark is onside and Clark spinning through. Allen to take the free kick for the Rangers. 11 Albion men back in their own defence. And it's a goal! Scored by Morgan. Number 10, nice. Oh, it's a goal! A great goal! Rodney Marsh has scored! Oh, what a goal! Now it's Hunt. Lazarus and Hunt. Lazarus, it's a goal! Rangers are in the lead!
Wembley's first League Cup legend had been written by Queen's Park Rangers, with Rodney Marsh in the starring role.
When I was at Queen's Park Rangers, we had a tremendous win in the League Cup final at Wembley, when we beat West Brom 3-2 after being 2-0 down at half-time, and they were a first division team, and Queen's Park Rangers were in the 3rd division, and that was a brilliant, brilliant game for me.
Further encouraged by the offer of a place in Europe to any first division winner, the leading lights of English football were showing more and more interest in their fledgling competition. In the year of their first European triumph, Leeds United won the cup with a disputed Terry Cooper goal against Arsenal.
Should that goal have been allowed? Watch it again from another angle as we stop the film at the vital moment in dispute.
As Arsenal keeper Jim Fennell will testify, the 1968 final was played for real. The League Cup was coming of age, starting to sort the men out from the boys. It certainly encountered 1 or 2 growing pains that day. Leeds were tired of being football's bridesmaids. They were ready to fight for their first trophy under Don Revie. 4 more followed in the next 4 years. But Arsenal were back to try again 12 months later against 3rd Division Swindon Town. Captain Frank McClintock received a match-day telegram from Revie at Leeds. It read, "Be first up the stairs this time." McClintock was, but only because the losing captain is first up on League Cup final day. Another Don Rogers, saw to that.
Don Rogers. Beating one and another. And the wall is going with him.
Everybody was saying that Arsenal were a better team than us and we're going to win. But I don't think there's one person on our team thought that, because we'd beaten some good teams along the way and we were playing really well. So we fully expected to win.
Breaking nicely for Swindon to Smith, to the far post. Noble is there, and Wilson lost the ball. And my goodness, Clark was nearly there to bang it home. Rogers running inside, and Rogers is away. Now here's a great chance for him. Good work by Wilson. Noble following up. And my goodness, that Arsenal defence was caught wide open then. And Wilson atoning for that earlier mistake. And now Rogers bringing it out of defence for Swindon. Lovely play. And there to take the return. Good play by Rogers. Oh, the Johnson! Smart! And goal! What a terrible mistake by Arsenal! Graham, now Gould off in support. Can Gould get to it now? It's a goal by Gould! And my goodness, is he not pleased with life? Bobby Gould! And they are really happy. He's crying. Bobby Gould is crying. Heath trying to dummy past McNabb and does so. There's a chance for Mason. Oh, against the post. What a let-off again for Arsenal. And it's a brave man who'd put his money on a winner of this game. It's still so very even and so very, very close. Very nearly through. Rodgers! A goal by Rodgers! And you're now for Arsenal. And smart away for Swindon. Rodgers is streaking ahead and he's onside. Beautiful play! That is that!
When you get clean through like that, I think the first thing you have to figure out in your mind is what you're going to do. Whether you're going to take it past them, or you're going to shoot, or you're going to chip. And if you don't make your mind up, then you've got no chance. A great memory would be the third goal going in the back of the net and turning around and saying they can't beat us now.
And there is this incredible scoreline. Arsenal 1, Swindon Town 3. Swindon have won the Football League Cup for 1969.
For the second time in 3 years, the winning captain was a third division captain. The fledgling League Cup was at last matching the romance of the FA Cup.